Hello, hello. I guess the time has come to make a video for, what's it, fourth race, I guess, in the Rookie Championship on Jyllandsringen, however the fuck you pronounce basically this track. Let me enable the replay of this track. So this race had some shitty memes, and the whole race was a meme, and it sucked, but I'm not even mad, so this was okay. So here's race 1. It was actually shorter than it was intended, it was just 20 minutes instead of 25 because of the server settings issue, but they decided not to change it and not to restart the server. This was on the same day when I was streaming Serious M Map, so I didn't get any fucking sleep, so I wasn't really on the top of my game at that point. And so for the first race I am starting in 13th position on the grid, and Mike starts in 10th position, so let's just start watching the replay. Here's the start. I guess the game is a little bit loud. Let me make it just a bit quieter so I can hear myself think. And so as you can see, I just stay back a little bit because I don't really want to get into the middle of things right away. And Mike, of course, already has a 3 wide in turn 1 because, well, that's not Mike's fault, of course. 503 goes off track. Let's see what kind of thing Mike did. It's not his fault, it's 59, right? Yeah, 59 just goes for 3 wide in turn 1. Because why the hell not? Got to win the race in the first corner on the first lap. And so Mike is actually passed by 59. Now then it's just regular driving. I guess we can watch it from Mike's perspective because he was closer to where the action was. Some garbage is gonna happen soon, according to my notes. I guess I could fast forward this, but whatever, too late now. And here we go. Happy fun times to be had. So let's see what actually happened here. Race control looked at this incident. This was 46 against 86. So let's see how it happened. Let's switch to 46 and see what is going on here. So that was 46 who was off track, and he's coming back on track in the less than desirable fashion. Like you can see, goes straight for the apex, doesn't leave any space for 86 here, so they collide. And they both start sliding and spinning. Let's switch to 86, I guess. So this happens. 61 crashes into 86, but it wasn't 61's fault. It was actually 59's fault. Let me switch to 59, because you see he just kind of dive bombs 61 and hits him in the back. And I think 61 probably could like brake or avoid it somehow, but 61 just did, 59 just did kind of a crappy thing, sent 61 into 86 car, and race control didn't do anything to 59. It wasn't even looked at. So here's 61. Oh, 503 crashes into 61 as well. Why did he do that? He just messed up the corner. Yeah, I don't know what he was planning. Like, if he just went on the inside, he could slip past. This is Mike's car, right? It passed Mike, yeah. But he kind of messes it up and just crashes into 61, which I guess helped 61 in the long run. So that happened, and because of this incident, 46 got 1 penalty point, so that 5-second penalty. And because of that, Mike passed 61, 86, and 46, and I passed 61 and 86. Now let's switch to my car again and keep watching. Now let's actually switch to 61, who is driving right behind me. So I have kind of a crappy last corner, and 61 like doesn't anticipate that. Just kind of crashes into my ass. And I don't really have much of a problem with that, but he really spins, goes out of track. Well, I guess this is like technically my fault, I suppose. But you know, that's not really an excuse. Oh, the car in front was slow. Well, too bad for you. You should know where the brakes are. Actually, after the race, 61 complained. Well, he complained to Mike, but I guess that applies to me as well. That we were brake checking him apparently, but I don't know. Like, if you are so fast, like, why don't you just freaking go in front? Whatever. Anyway, let's see what happens now. Oh yes, Mike is having a little bit of fun at the start of lap 2, so let's see what happens with Mike. Yeah, Mike was going side by side with 16. He didn't have the best last corner, so 16 is attacking. And Mike is too focused on 59. Just follows him off track. 59 just goes off-roading, Mike passes him. But also Mike is passed by 16 and 46. The next, there's going to be an incident with 503 again, so let's watch from his perspective. In just a little bit, so let's fast forward just a little. As you can see, 503 kind of has shitty line here. That's like way too narrow to take a corner. And so his line is just kind of very much incompatible with the line of 86 here, so he hits 86. Let's see. And 86, yeah, he can correct his car pretty easily, but 503 just spins around completely, loses a bunch of time here. Meanwhile, I'm following 59. There is Mike ahead of 59. So, as you can see, 59 slides just a little bit in the last corner. So, on lap 3, I decide, okay, let's try to do something. Let's not just drive. Let's try to do something. And this happens. This was also investigated by race control. 59 got 1 penalty point and like 5-second penalty for this incident, but I don't really know. It's kind of hard to tell who's at fault. Like, you can see he turns kind of very early, and I'm not really turning enough. Like, I start turning here, but 59 is already in my side. Like, if you watch from cockpit camera, I don't know, I think like probably it is indeed 59's fault. Like, it's kind of hard to tell. Of course, I'm not gonna argue with the decision of race control that was in my favor, obviously. Let's see, 59 is car number what? Car 10 on this replay. Let's switch to 59. Like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell. Like, he's kind of turning towards the apex. It's kind of like hard to tell at this point, because like you see, he's turning his wheel quite a lot, but if you watch from the external camera, it kind of looks like he is leaving me some space here, so I don't know. I would say this was like a racing incident or something. But if race control decided to penalize 59 for this, well, I'm not gonna argue, of course. And that was a pretty shitty spin for me. I took a lot of time getting my shit together, so I am passed by 61 and 86 cars. So I was pretty mad about that, obviously. And from this point on, there is a little bit of forever alone driving for me. So we're gonna switch to Mike's car and watch him driving. So Mike is catching up with 16. Yes. And the battle begins. So now we're just gonna fast forward and watch how Mike was driving, because he was driving behind 16 for like quite a while. Trying to do some passes, not quite succeeding. "16 is a pretty confident driver. He's not like super fast, because I suspect he doesn't really practice much. But he's very confident, so it's hard to... Oh yes, this is happening. Let's dial back a little bit and see what happens with 59 and Mike. Oh, Mike has had a little bit of an issue here. Lost control for a second. 59 uses the opportunity. Fucking bumps Mike. Like, hey, get the fuck out of the way, you bastard. But Mike keeps his position. Let's keep fast forwarding. Mike is still behind 16, looking for an opening. At the same time, let's switch back to my car. I just kind of fuck up this corner here. And 503 passes me here. Which was kind of unfortunate. But let's fast forward a little bit. And a little bit more. And the 503 just does what he does best. He really messes up this corner, so I pass him back. I'm kind of curious what happened to him. Let's see, let's watch this. Because I'm not sure why he did what he did. So he just jumps on this curb, and I don't know, I guess I don't know the fuck he does here, like locks up, like I don't know how you can lock up a car with ABS, but I don't know. But you can see he's like kind of sliding and not really turning. Let's see, he's turning his wheel. But his car isn't turning, so I don't know. I guess just that bump fucked him up. This is the only explanation that I have for this. Like, that bump really fucked him up. And so what happens now? Mike is still following 16 at this point. But at the same time, 59 makes a mistake, jumps on the curb, spins pretty heavily. But I was so far behind him after that incident So like I didn't really make up that much ground because of that. Let's switch back to Mike, I suppose. Fast forward a little bit. He's still behind 16, still trying to find a way to go, but no luck. But at the same time, a thing is happening right here between 25 and 4. So let's see what happens here. This was judged as a racing incident and nobody got any penalty points for that. We should be watching this from 25's perspective. Yeah, you see he kinda jumps on curb, that probably fucked him up. Like if he didn't jump on curbs. Curbs are like really shitty on this track in some places because you can jump on them like very heavily and this fucks you up big time. Like really big time. So he jumps and kinda hits 4 in the side and passes 4 this way. Okay. Here 59 just kinda makes a mistake in turn 1 again. And so I get a little bit closer to him still. Not quite in position to attack right now, but soon we're gonna try to make a move. At the same time, 86 is catching up with the mic. And here Mike decides for some reason to just take a defensive trajectory. Oh wow, I guess 61 got slightly fucked here because of that. No, I guess that was kind of his own fault. Just slides a bit, that was kind of his own fault, I suppose. But yeah, I don't know why Mike decided to defend here. Because the guys behind, they are like too wide and he should have just taken the normal trajectory here and probably would have been fine for him. At the same time, I'm getting a little bit too excited about 59 being so close. And so I kinda fuck up here, slide a little bit, and 503 uses this opportunity to get ahead of me. And at this time I make all kinds of driving mistakes, like my notes don't really specify what kind of mistakes, but basically I get mad because 503 passed me and I just kinda drive like shit for a little while and I fall behind. Let's fast forward a little bit. Yeah, you can see how far away those guys got from me. But now they are trying to go too wide into turn 1. And they start bumping on the straight. So that's pretty amusing. 59 goes too wide and 503 passes him. So that was pretty interesting. But then, very soon, like immediately right after this move, 503 does what 503 does best. He spins. And he spins pretty hard. So both 59 and me just pass him here. And I think he takes a while to come back to track, doesn't he? And it takes a while to turn around. So this happens. Mike is still behind 16 at this point. Oh yeah, something is gonna happen here, right? Right here with Mike. Yep. Yeah, that's kind of a funny incident here. This was looked at by race control, and it was 61 versus Mike. And 86 wasn't really even considered in this incident, but this is actually Mike's fault. Like you see, that's where the apex is, and this is where Mike is going. So Mike has contact with 86, and he sends 86 to the side and starts spinning. Poor 61 just didn't really expect this shit and crashes into Mike, who is spinning out of control. And this is actually the incident that race control looked at, like 61 crashing into spinning Mike. But not Mike completely fucking up the corner and screwing 86 over. This is just one of those examples of like, what the fuck is race control even smoking? Like, what the fuck are they even looking at? But whatever. So like, everything that happened was Mike's fault, and because of that, because of 61 hitting Mike, Mike bounces back into 86. Like you see, 61 just goes off-roading, Mike is spinning, and 86, I think he got fucked the most out of this. Like you see, he just, wow. Goes completely out of track, and fortunately he got lucky that he didn't fall into the hell pit. We will talk about the hell pit later. And what happens here? Because of that, I pass 86. But Mike is still ahead of me, isn't he? Yeah, Mike is still ahead. 61 is still ahead, and Mike is still ahead. So at this point, Mike is just driving his race, and I am following 59. It says here in my notes to fast forward, so I'm gonna fast forward until lap 13. Just driving behind 59 here. Trying to see if I can get a pass on him. He's making some mistakes. Until finally he messes up turn 1 again, and I pass him. Now there's gonna be another thing with Mike and 61, so let's switch to Mike. It's gonna happen soon. Oh no, sorry, that's the wrong lap. Now it's gonna happen. Okay, yeah, I just looked at the wrong timestamp. I'm sorry, yeah. This is the right lap, and it just kinda happened later than I expected. So let's see what happens here. Boop. Mike kind of has crappy line. Like you can see, he could have been driving closer to the apex here. This is one of the shitty curbs though, so I don't really blame him for not wanting to be near it. And also, like, you see how he's like going from the freaking, it's not even in the middle of the track, it's like he's closer to the right side of the track, And he really should have been somewhere around here, at least. So he kind of has shitty line through here, hits 61, and his beans. I don't think 61 had that much of a trouble because of that. Let's see. Yeah, 61 just keeps driving. Meanwhile, Mike is spinning. And because of this mistake, I actually pass Mike right here. So the race is kind of pretty much over. This is pretty close to the end of the race. This is lap 14, and the race had 16 laps. So here I am. Mike is kind of behind me, and 86 is behind Mike. And at this point I just kind of start thinking, because I was in 10th place right now in the race at this point in time, and the guy in 10th place would start first on the grid in the second race. And as I said, I haven't slept, and just my driving wasn't really super great. So at this point in time we were having a conversation with Mike, and I was telling him that he should go in 10th place and start first. And he was kind of reluctant a little bit, but I told him, just fucking do it. So here I kind of make a mistake, and I don't even try to recover from it. And I just shout to Mike over TeamSpeak, just go, go, go. So Mike goes. At this point I didn't really realize, I knew that Mike was behind me, but I didn't realize that 86 was so close behind him. And if I knew that maybe I wouldn't have tried to pull this maneuver, letting Mike in front. So like 86 follows Mike ahead of me. And this is not something I wanted at all, but whatever. Like, what I wanted to do here was to get Mike on first position on the grid, and everything else just kind of didn't matter. But of course, as soon as there is some kind of pressure put on Mike, Mike starts doing questionable things. So immediately after that, Mike just goes and fucks up this corner. Why did he fuck up this corner? That's something I would have liked to know. Yeah, cuts too much, jumps on the curbs. Goes off track. This is the person that I wanted to start in first in the second race. And so he's passed by 86, and now we have like 2 wide with him, and oh no, what is this? Mike just straight up murders his teammate. This is how he pays me back for trying to put him in the first place. Like, I'm leaving him space here, but once again, instead of like being more to the left, he just tries to turn from the middle of the track. And on top of that, he misses the apex completely, he just like crashes into my side, and we just spin the fuck out. So this is our team strategy basically. This still image, maybe from external camera, yeah, this is the image of our team strategy. Let me like put slow motion. This is slow motion view of our team strategy, so you can just look at it and enjoy. I don't think I need to say anything else about this episode here. And because of this amazing move pulled off by Mike, we are getting passed by 59 and 503, and both of them got kinda lucky, I guess, that Mike didn't kill them with his ass. So I kind of get my shit together reasonably quickly, and I start driving again. Mike has a little bit more of a problem after this. And so here we go. This was yeah, Mike got 1 penalty point for that, 5 seconds. This was second to last lap. Like, imagine pulling this kind of shit on second to last lap. Jesus fucking Christ. And so nothing really happens. Like, we are in last place in the race at this point. Mike is last, I'm second to last because of this shit. And now Mike's just fucks up turn 1 really badly. Well, I guess he was mad after the accident, which is understandable. And he's getting lapped by the leaders. But this is like, I don't know. Yeah, this is like finish already. I don't know. I don't think Mike was a lap down or anything. But whatever. Doesn't matter. Anyway, yeah, and we just kind of like finished the race in the ass, and no one got to be on the first spot on the second race. Thanks to Mike! Good driving, Mike! Jesus Christ! But something funny happened. Here's our good old friend 503, who is racing 59. And let's see what happens with them. There was a little bit of a bump, but that's fine. And now bonk, and bonk, and bonk. This was not investigated by race control, by the way. Like, so 503 hits 59 in the S. He doesn't slow down or anything. He doesn't try to turn away. He hits him again and again. And this wasn't looked at by race control. Why? I don't know. And 59, he just really spins and goes off track. And when he tries to... Yep, when he tries to come back to the track, which is, well, I guess it's kind of questionable. Because he just drives like in really like wide arc here. And he falls into the hell pit. This is the hell pit. There are some spots in this track where you can just fall through the ground, and that's the end of your race, basically. But that's not the end of it. We haven't seen the last of the hell pit, trust me. And so I just drive. This is the last lap. I'm driving behind 503, and there's the finish. But the thing is, 503 got 5-second penalty for some kind of incident before. Yeah, he got 5 seconds for the incident on lap 2 against 86. And it just so happened that I was within 5 seconds behind him when the race ended. So I actually finished ahead of them in the final standings. Sort of. So, I finished in 11th place, and Mike finished in 13th place, and 59 didn't finish at all. thanks to 503. And that was the end of race 1. Now let's switch to race 2. It's gonna take me a little while. I hope you understand. Just loads. Loads for long. Yes, my PC is a potato, and yes, I could split the video into 2 parts, but I can't be arsed to glue them back together. So you'll just have to sit here and wait with me. I had to wait for the replay to start, so you will have to wait for the replay to start. That's only fair. Here we go. This is the start, somewhere around here, yes. So we are starting from the same positions we got from the previous race. Like, I am in 12th position, Mike is in 13th position. Like, the penalty wasn't accounted for. The penalty is only accounted after all is like said and done and decided. So let's see. At the start of the race, just once again, I decide to chill, and I just let people go in front because I just really don't wanna get fucking murdered in turn 1. So 59 goes in front and Mike goes in front, and 59 actually passes Mike with a little bit of a bonk. But there is some off-roading happens. This is 58, 59's teammate. So let's see what happened with them. There was a 3 wide, I guess. Yeah, there was a 3 wide, of course, in turn 1, on lap 1, because that's just how this league works. Let's see what happens here. Just some contact between 46 and 58. It's kind of hard to tell whose fault is that. Let's switch to 46. Oh, 46 is leaving space and he has reasonable trajectory, I guess. Oh, god damn it, I freaking... Sorry. No, he's leaving space, but I wonder if this was intentional. Just like 58 really wanted to be here. And he could have made it probably, but his line was off, and so he hits 46. And 46 slides into 16. And touches 4 as well. So some garbage happened here, but the one who really got fucked in this was 58 himself. Fitting, because that was pretty much his fault here. Yep. Now something is gonna happen again, because this is of course lap 1. And it's our good friend 503 again. Let's see what happens here. That wasn't his fault actually, huh? Let's see. Yeah, this was a pretty reckless maneuver here. 25 just moves across the entire track and causes some shit for everyone. 503 actually got away without too much problems. but everyone else had issues with that. And like you see, like the exact same move, you remember the exact same move happened on Magione, right? With 127 and me. 127 did the exact same thing to me on Magione, and he didn't get any penalty for that. But for this case, 25 got actually 10 seconds of penalty. So once again, that just brings the question, like, what the heck is race control smoking when they are making their decisions? I don't know. Bonk, bonk, bonk. You get a bonk, you get a bonk, everyone gets a bonk. So this happened there. $59, is that 59 or 58? Yeah, that's 59. 59 just goes wide there for no reason whatsoever. I guess he just wanted to drive maybe around all that garbage, but he just slowed down by going off the track for no reason. And Mike passes them, actually. Mike goes too wide with 58, and he passes both 58 and 59, so that's pretty cool. And then nothing really super interesting happens, I guess, until the next lap, right? No. It's gonna happen this lap. Okay. So that's where 58 passes Mike. Let's have a look at Mike actually. What happened here? Oh, there was already like sort of a too wide. Well, kind of like not really a too wide, but Helicourse already says that there is a bit of an overlap happening. Well, kind of not really. I guess Mike didn't really have to leave space here at this point, but he did. And so he kind of goes slow. 58 passes Mike. And then Mike doesn't have the best last corner, and so 59 is attacking. And so Mike is passed by 59. Guess we can watch Mike from this point on. Let's fast forward a little bit. Yeah, here's a bit of a mistake from 59. And then he messes up this corner. And this wonderful fucking thing happens. Like, you see there's like this piece of grass here. And looking at 503, 503 didn't cut it either. And because like if you cut it in like practice and in qualifying, it will tell you that your lap is invalid. So you kind of have to go like here. You shouldn't really touch the grass here. And I guess that's what Mike doing, but you can see Mike could maybe drive here, just slightly more to the left here, just to cut this corner a little bit. But still, that doesn't really excuse 59 here. Let's see, where's 59? 59 got 1 penalty point for that, 5 seconds, but it's not like it mattered, because you will see in a moment. He just kind of... Yeah, I don't know what kind of move was that. Like, even if Mike was cutting more here, 59 would have still crashed into him. He just kind of turns fucking violently. Like, there is overlap. It's kind of similar to what happened with 503 on Morris. He's just like aggressively closing the trajectory while there is still overlap. And like what the fuck is going on? But what happens here, he just kind of fucked himself over. Because... straight to hell. Straight to hell with this guy. But unfortunately Mike is hurt in this. He like spins. Mike spins a lot. Fortunately Mike doesn't go to hell, but I pass him because of that. So basically 59 went to hell in both races. And the first time it wasn't his fault, but this time it was his fault. So there is that. .503 does what 503 does best, and he spins in turn 1, so I pass him. And then we can switch back to Mike, because Mike catches up with 503 because of this spin. They're going too wide, and Mike pulls a pretty nice maneuver here, and he passes 503. That was a very cool pass. Mike actually did great here in this particular situation. So for the next lap we're just driving and nothing really interesting is happening. So we're gonna switch to number 16. Because number 16 is having fun. There is number 50 right behind him, right? And number 58 and number 25. So let's watch this a little bit. This was pretty exciting. Some bonkening happening. And finally 16 is kind of bonked out of the way, unfortunately. Yep. And 16 gets passed by everyone. There's so much bonkening happening, wow. And you can get away with this in Assetto Corsa. You probably wouldn't be able to... Oh, and he hits the wall a little bit. I didn't know that happened. Oh well. So for the next lap we're just driving, both me and Mike, and nothing interesting happens. So let's switch to the next incident between 58 and 25. Oh, that's the wrong thing. Here's 58. Something's gonna happen right now, in just a few seconds. Bonk. 58 is bonked by 25 and gets passed by 25, and who was that? 16, right? Where is 46? Yeah, it is 16. Okay. Now it's I'm kind of curious, like, what happened to 58 after that? Did he pass 16 again? Oh, he just bonked 16 in the S. That was a pretty rude pass. Bonk in the S. Drive past. This is very rude. And there was no investigation. Once again, this incident wasn't investigated by race control. And I didn't even know that happened. Just like now I got curious because of how some things didn't add up, and I saw that just now. Okay. Alright. So after a while, let me... Oh yeah, because of all that garbage, right? Because of all that garbage, I actually catch up to 16, and then it begins. So pretty much for the entirety of the race, I was driving behind 16. Well, I was in the same situation as Mike was in race 1. I was trying to pass 16, but it just wouldn't work. Like, no matter what I tried, like, it just wouldn't work. So I'm gonna just fast forward here until the next thing happens. The next thing happens, let me check my notes. Around here. This was another incident between 46 and 4. Let's see what happened here. Oh, god damn it, I'm clicking on the wrong things again. So here's 46. 4 is ahead of 46, right there. Let's see what's going on. Four slides a little bit. Oh, that was nasty. That was definitely 46 fall, just hits 4 in the S and spins him. That was 10-second penalty, like 2 penalty points for 46, and 4 got fucked really big time here. Let's see. Oof. Nasty. Lost a lot of time, got passed by a bunch of cars. That was unfortunate. Alright, back to my car. Still driving behind 16. At this point something happens with Mike, right? Let's switch to Mike and see what happens with Mike at this point in time. Mike jumps on the curb. Mike is attacked by 503. .503 really wants to get ahead of Mike. Mike is kinda slow here. 503 attacks again. Slight contact. Oh, where's 503? There he is. But Mike is still in the lead. And then 503 does what he does best. I don't really understand what the heck was that move. Like, Like, what kind of trajectory is this? Like, why is he starting to turn here? Like, he's starting to turn here. Like, where the heck did he want to go here? Into a wall? And he just freaking cuts. I guess he started sliding here a little bit. But he really, like, cuts the corner here and just... Mike got kind of really lucky. He didn't get taken out by this. Let's watch this in slow motion. That was pretty close for Mike. I don't know what the heck 503 wanted to do here. But he only borked himself, so there is that. And I'm still driving behind 16, because that's just how it is. The next incident is gonna happen in a couple of minutes, game time. So let's fast forward until that. And stop. And back, and let's see. Something happens between 11 and 46. So let's see, let's switch to 11. There he is. 46 is ahead. Yeah, 11 clearly makes a mistake here, hits 46. Gets one penalty point. Oof. Oof. Well, he didn't cause too much shit. He just kind of screwed himself over by doing that. Like 46 just slides a little bit, but regains control of the car and can just keep driving. So 11 is the one who got screwed here, and he screwed himself over. Back to watching me and 16 at 5 times fast forward, and we will do that until lap 11, which is going to come up soon enough. And then after lap 11 we're still going to be watching that. So let's see what happens here. This is kind of really stupid. So 16 finally 16 makes a big mistake. And so I pass him. But immediately after that, I fuck up this corner. And he takes his position back, and I'm just kind of doing the same thing I was blaming Mike for. This is a really stupid thing. Because once again, like, I could be like right here. This is something I need to work on. I keep fucking doing this mistake. As much as I shit talk Mike for this, I just do the same. Like, I should have been here. My car should have been here. But I'm like too close to the inside here, and that's why I have to go slower. At least I didn't kill anyone. Like Mike does. But whatever. And so 16 passes me back again. And then nothing interesting happens for quite a while, actually. Until something happens with 11. It's gonna happen in a little while, so just enjoy this fast forward of me and 16 doing things. And something's gonna happen Right about now, let's see. Yes, car 11. Makes a mistake in last corner, like I'm not sure what happened here. Did he touch the wall? Because he kind of bounces to the left, but then immediately to the right. And I'm not sure how that happened, and so he bounces back into a wall, and I guess he gets stuck in a wall or something, or maybe he like destroyed his car completely, because he doesn't drive after that. I don't know what happened here. He just goes back to pits and he just disconnects, I guess. So I don't know what happened with that. But that's like one free position for both me and Mike, so I can't really complain about this. Back to my car. Oh yeah, because we were fighting with 16, well, fighting is not really a good word, more like I'm trying to do something. And 16 being like, I'm just like, oh, fuck off, mate. You can't pass me. And indeed I could not. But because of that we were kind of slowing down, and so this allowed Mike to catch up with us. You can see he's getting closer and closer and closer. Until finally I make a mistake. And Mike passes me. At this point I didn't really even mind, because I'm like, okay, I just spent like 10 fucking laps trying to pass 16. Maybe Mike can do better than that. Spoiler alert, Mike could not do better than that. So let's keep watching. Like, you see, Mike is just like, I don't know, he was doing fine, but as soon as he went ahead of me, he, I don't know, just started fucking up here. And 16 is driving away. Like here I don't even try to pass Mike or anything. I'm like, okay, whatever, Mike, just go ahead. Just whatever, just go ahead. You can see I'm just braking way too much here. I'm like, okay, Mike, go ahead. And Mike goes ahead, but 16 is driving away. And here is like the part that that actually kind of made me mad a little bit. Like you see, Mike fucks this up. And so I'm getting ahead of him. But instead of just letting me drive in front, like, all you have to fucking do, Mike, we're in the same team. I don't know, Mike, if you got the memo, but we are in the same fucking team. At the same fucking team, Mike. All you have to do is just, like, let go of throttle a little bit, and then we can just drive together. But no, he's just trying to, like, fucking overtake me for whatever fucking reason. Goes off track again, and like, what the fuck? Basically, Mike with his friggin' memes just wasted my time, and it wasted enough of my time, like, overall. Not just this episode, but just Mike's driving in general. Once again, I guess Mike got tired, or something. Or as long as he is ahead of me, he just gets too self-conscious or something and cannot drive anyway. So you can see we were right behind 16, and now see how far away he is. And so at this point on, I was trying to catch up to 16, and then in the end I managed to do that, but that was the very end of the race, so like I couldn't try to pass him again. And the next thing that happens with Mike. That was just like pretty boring driving until, oh wait, it already happened. It already happened. I fast forwarded too far because Mike got passed by 503. Well, that was kind of weird. Like Mike just pretty much lets him go for whatever reason. Like, I don't think Mike missed the apex here, it just felt quite intentional. And so he just kinda lets 503 go, but then he hits him? Like, why are you turning so much to the left here, Mike? In too wide, he's just like pretty much just driving there. Why? Let's watch his wheel. Like, why? What? Like, watch Mike's wheel here. Why? He just kinda like turned to the left and he keeps turning to the left. And at this point he should be like moving his wheel to the right already to have a good exit like somewhere along that line, but he just keeps turning left and he hits 503 in a really silly way, so I don't know what was up with that. And yeah, nothing really interesting happens after that. So let me just skip to the final incident of the race, which happened in quite a while actually. So yeah, this was just forever lone racing for both me and Mike. Nothing else happened with both of us. Let's see, 37:11. Somewhere around here. And the incident was between 127 and 58. So let's see what was that all about. Yeah, once again, like the typical fucking story. Yeah, 127 just goes a little bit too much, too wide here. It kind of bonks 58 on the ass, but it's not really that much of a problem, except he doesn't slow down and he just keeps fucking hitting him in the ass. This just fucking keeps happening. You hit the person once, and then instead of like fucking braking a little bit and driving around, you just keep hitting them in the ass until they spin completely. Why do people do that? And 127 got 10 seconds penalty, 2 penalty points for this, but 58 is just massively fucked because of this incident. Like, he like really spins the fuck out, and it takes forever to come back to track. He must have been pretty mad about this. And then let's just skip to final lap. And let's actually watch it from Binyeke's perspective in 503. Because like I finally caught up with 16 and I was trying to pull some moves on him again. Like I pretty much had no chance to do that, but he was like, you see, he's like kind of slow and I'm trying to attack but kind of failing, and because of that 503 got actually very close. And at this point I'm like, holy shit, like 503 is just gonna fucking pass me here. But this was finish already. I just barely managed to finish ahead of 503 here. So that's finish. And so in the end, I guess let's switch to Mike. And this is Mike's finish. And Mike is finished in 12th position, and I have finished in 10th. There is like some confusion when looking at the results. I think someone like made some kind of mistake filling up all the tables and statistics and shit, but I think I'm in 10th. And Mike is in 12th. Yep. So there's this race. It was kind of fucking junk. But that was okay because, well, it was kind of enjoyable to drive with 16. Like, kind of similar thing happened on Magione, where I was driving behind Platypus Racing guys. And I couldn't pass them. And there I just was frustrated because of that. But here, I don't know. It was kind of nice. It was fun. But whatever. Stupid shitty race. Whatever. I don't care. So this ended very poorly. So now like we pretty much have no chance to get ahead of 61 in the rookie standings. Like in order to have more points than he does, he needs just to skip today's race. Yeah, I'm recording this on 2nd of November, on the day of the final race. So he has to skip today's race, which he won't already. We know because he signed up, he wrote in Discord. And we have to be like in first place or something in both races. And then maybe we'll have enough points to be ahead of him, but I just don't see that happening. So yeah, whatever. I'm not even gonna look at like points and statistics and shit, whatever, don't care. So I'm gonna stop the video here. Thank you for watching. Hopefully today's race won't be that much of a shitfest, but I guess we will see.